Hi, welcome to Driving TV, and I hope you are well. And welcome to another Sunday. And in this video, I will be sharing with you few things that you should do for you to prepare for yourself to learn and pass the test. Now, this learning to drive and passing the test is your goal. You want to learn and you want to pass. So when you come in, or when you are starting for you to learn to drive, and then hopefully eventually for you to pass the test, you need to come in with a plan so that you know your roadmap. You know that this is the process that I'm going to take so that this journey of learning becomes easy, and then at the end, passing the test becomes also easy. So what can you do? What can you do to make sure that this journey becomes easy for you and also becomes easy for you to pass the test? Now in this video, I'm going to share with you 10 things that you should do, or anyone who's thinking of learning to drive and passing the test should think of these 10 things so that this learning becomes easy. Remember, for you to learn and for you to pass, it shouldn't be something that you have to do. It should be something that you want to do. It should be something that you enjoy doing, because in the end, this driving is not going to be for a day. It's going to be a journey for you for a long time. As long as you live, as long as you have the health for you to drive the car, you will be driving. So you want to make sure that this journey becomes easy for you and this driving becomes enjoyable for you. And for this to happen, you have to make sure that you have a plan, you have a roadmap so that you know this learning becomes easy and simple. So I'm going to share with you 10 things, okay? So number one, if you are thinking of learning to drive, make sure you have that mindset. So number one is the mindset. You know that you are coming in to learn to drive and pass the test. So make sure you accept that this is what you want to do. Don't come in that I have £200 in my pocket or in my bank. I'm just going to have 10 hours just to see how it is. And then if I like it, I will do it. And if I don't, I won't. That's a wrong mindset. You need to come in with the right mindset. You need to make sure that you know this is what I want and this is what I want to do. So first of all, you need to prepare your mind and say, this is what I am going to achieve at the end. This is what I am going to do, which is to learn to drive. And then at the end, I am going to pass the test. So come in with the right mind frame. You need to accept in your mind that this is what I'm going to do, and for a few weeks or few months, this is what is going to happen. I'm going to take the driving lessons and then I'm going to pass the test. So make sure you know this. Make sure you know this is part of your life. Make sure you have some space, you have some time before you come in. Don't just come in as if you're just going to have few lessons and pass the test, or few lessons and then I'll see if it's good or bad. It shouldn't be like that. It should be in your mind. So number one is the mindset. It's all in the mind, isn't it? If you don't accept it, it's not going to be easy for you. In the end, no one is learning for you. Everyone can teach you, but they can't learn for you. They can't do it for you. And the only person who's going to do it is going to be you, isn't it? So make sure that you are ready. It's no point your instructor is ready to teach you, or your mom or your dad or your husband or your wife. They are ready to teach you. That's not enough. They are ready, but are you ready? Because if you are not, it doesn't matter how ready the world is. You have to be ready, because this is something you are doing. It's your thing. Okay? So make sure you are fully ready and you accept your mindset is that this is going to be a journey of few weeks or few months for me to learn and pass the test. So number one is the mindset. Number two, know the type of learner you are. What type of learner are you? This is important, because if you approach this learning and you don't know or you don't recognize how your learning process is, how do you learn, what kind of person you are, what kind of learner you are, this is going to be difficult for you, because in the end, we all learn differently. So you want to make sure that you know the type of learner you are, okay? Now, when I say this type of learner, what do I mean? What I mean is that there are many types of people on the planet, and there are two main types, and I always say that the main two types are the theorist and the practical person. The theorists are those who learn by reading, by knowing everything before they need to do it. And the practical person is the person who learns better by doing it. They don't like reading that much. They just want to do it, and as they're doing it, they learn. So you need to understand what type of learner you are, so then it becomes easy for you to approach the right way. So how do you recognize what kind of person you are or the type of learner you are? And you probably heard before on my channel, I said this before, one of the way I get to know my learners, when I get my learners in the car, is by asking questions. Many times they don't know. I'm just asking the questions. By asking, I get to know the type of learner I am teaching, because for me to teach is very important. I need to know also what kind of learner or what kind of person I am teaching, because then it becomes harder for me to teach and it becomes harder for them to learn also. And one of the way I say for you to find out yourself is to think of this way. If you go to a shop and if you buy a box of a product which you need to bring home and you need to make, okay, you bring it home and you open the box and there is an instruction for you to read and know how to make this thing that you bought. Okay, now if you are the person who opens the box and need to read the instruction first to know exactly how to make it, you will be a theorist person. And if you are the person who opens the box and start making, and as you are making it you need to read the instruction when you are stuck, then you know that you are a practical person. So this is one of the way you could find out, and it's important is because if you know the type of learner you are, it becomes easy for you to know how to approach this, so that when you are reading and you feel bored and you think you're not getting it, I wouldn't be too hard on yourself, because you know you are a practical person. Okay, so by knowing the type of learner you are, the learning becomes easy for you, because you know your capability, your strength of learning, because you know the type of learner you are. Okay, that's number two. Number three, when you go to your driving lesson, okay, and you go and sit in your car for you to start the lesson, if I were you, I would take a moment, I would take my seat, I would sit on my chair, prepare my seat, make sure my seat is okay, make sure that I reach the pedals properly, make sure that I am comfortable, and take a moment to think, why are you learning this? What is the benefit of your learning? Take a moment before, because this moment is going to help you to achieve your goal. It's going to help you to push. Don't just come in and rush, put the seatbelt on and start to learn, because unless you take it in for that day, that's the moment you want to make sure that you are prepared for that moment. This moment is for you. Any problem you have, you leave it outside the car. Okay, any problem you have at home, any problem you have in your life, is not in the car anymore. Leave it outside, because give that time that you are here for, which is to learn. Okay, so take a moment and just release everything you have and leave it out, because we all have problems at home in life. Okay, and we don't want to come in with the problem every lesson and not taking it seriously. This driving is something is going to cost you money, cost you time. It's something really serious, something really important for you. So make that importance, that this is important for me and I need to learn this. So any problem you have, you take it out of your mind, leave it out of the car, and then start to learn. Just take that moment, take a deep breath, make sure your seat is comfortable, and take that moment and just make sure you are ready for that moment. Any problem you have, leave it outside. You can't learn this if you have too much problem in your heart, in your mind, in your heart. You can't do that, because learning is something you need energy, you need effort. And if you have a lot of problems, which we all have problems in life, all I'm saying is the moment you are in the car, just leave the problem outside the car for the moment. After the lesson, you could go back to your problem again and solve the problem. Just for now, leave the problem outside your car. That's what I'm saying. So take a moment and take this seriously and know that this is something I need to learn. Okay. Now, fourth thing is, this is my recommendation, is to have 2 hourly lesson. Okay. So when you have a lesson, don't have hour lesson. Now, this is my recommendation. It will depend on how much you could pay and how much you could afford. I know that. But the reason I say 2 hourly lesson is because you will achieve more from the lesson. Okay. Hourly lesson, you don't achieve as much as you can in 2 hours. Why? Because by the time your driving instructor collects you, takes you to a place where he or she is going to teach you something, and then explain to you the task, and then by the time you start to learn the practicing side, the lesson finishes, because then you have to go back home again. Okay. So my advice is have 2 hourly lesson, because the second hour is always the learning. It always gives you that time to learn. So first hour is get to know, get used to it, get to know the task you're going to be learning, and then the second hour is the best hour when you are learning. Okay. So my advice, if you can, is to do 2 hourly lesson. 1 hour is okay, but you learn slow. 2 hourly lesson, you learn more from the lesson. Okay. So that's my recommendation, if you could afford and if you could have that time aside per week or per lesson. Number 5 is to carry a notebook. Okay. Now, this is important. When you are learning something new, you need to make sure that you take it seriously and you make notes. And in this driving is the same. It's no different. I would carry a notebook. So when I start the journey of learning, I would buy a nice, good notebook where I make notes of everything that I learn, so that I could open and I could see where things are going good, where things are going bad, all the things that I need to achieve, I need to improve. So make sure you carry a notebook and make notes of the things that you are learning. So whether you are learning the things in the car or you are learning the things from the YouTube or from the net, whatever you are learning, the new things you are learning, make notes. For example, say you are learning roundabouts. So what is roundabouts? Which lane do you need? What is the MSPSL routine? When do I signal? When do I look on my right? So all those things, make a note. So on a page, I would write roundabout and then I would make the bullet points of the roundabouts. That way, you could always go back to the notes and learn and see and learn for you to memorize, so that for your next lesson, you are fully ready. You know what you are going to do and what was the problem on your last lesson, you know, because it's on the note. So make sure you have a notebook. Now, number 6 is to have consistent lesson. When you come in this to learn to drive and for you to pass the test, don't just come in like I said in the beginning, that you are going to have few lessons and just to see how it is and then you are going to decide afterwards. You should come in with the right mindset, like I said, and then you should have a time on the side, maybe per week or whenever you have the lessons, and to have that consistent lesson, have regular lesson. Minimum, I would say 1 lesson per week for 2 hours each. That's the minimum. If you want to have more, then 2 or 3, but every lesson should be 2 hours each. And you should have the consistency, you should have continuous lesson until you finish at the end. Okay? So you have lessons every week or whenever you decide to have, but you have consistent lesson, regular lesson. And also, if you can, have a friend, have a family member to help you, to give you some lessons on the side. So the lessons that you have with the driving instructor will help you to know exactly the things you need to learn and the things you need to know for you to pass the test. But once you know how to drive the car, how to control the car, I would advise, if you can, is to have some lessons on the side with a family member or with a friend. Maybe 20 minutes a time, okay? Once or twice or 3 times a week, 20 minutes each. Just go out and just drive. You don't have to learn anything new. The best thing to do is go out with a friend and just drive. Just go around the circle, just drive. This driving is going to give you the confidence and it's going to give you the control of your car better, give you the awareness, and also it will give you the confidence, because knowing that you are driving by yourself without a driving instructor, even though you have a family member, you will have that confidence knowing I am doing with a family member, I could drive the car, I can do it. So make sure that you can control the car before you go out with your friend, because remember, they don't have a brake or the clutch on their side for them to stop the car. Okay, so don't just jump in the car unless you feel comfortable, unless you feel that you can control the car. But this is going to really help you if you can have those extra lessons with a family member. Okay, 20 minutes at a time. Don't go for too long, then you're going to get bored or you're going to get stressed. They're going to get stressed. Just for 20 minutes, half an hour. If it's 1 hour, it's good, it's great if you could do that. Okay, number 7, never give up. Now this driving is not going to be easy for you. Some days it's going to be hard, it's going to be difficult for you. It doesn't matter what type of learner you are. It will be difficult because there are big lessons, because there will be some day where you're going to be doing big lessons. Okay, roundabouts, parkings, bay parking, parallel parking, crossroads. So there are big lessons for you to learn, and for that you will have a bad day or you will have a challenging days, which means that that's part of the game, is part of the learning process. Never ever give up. That is not the option. Your option isn't to give up. Okay, never even think of that. If you have a bad day, that's fine, no problem. I'm going to continue to learn, and I'm going to keep pushing myself to learn and go to the end and pass the test. This is the goal. Never ever think of giving up. Okay, giving up is not an option. It shouldn't even come into your mind. It should be deleted in this process. Giving up is never an option when you're learning to drive. It doesn't matter how long it takes. It doesn't matter how many attempts you need for you to learn something new. You keep on going. You keep on going until you learn. Okay, because you are focused for you to learn and think of the thing you are going to achieve at the end. And this is going to help you to overcome the bad day. So what are you going to achieve at the end? What is this learning going to give you? It's going to open doors for you. It's going to help you many ways, going to the places you love, help you take your children to school or wherever they want to go, help you to go and visit your friends, family. So it's going to open doors for you. So think of the benefit, the outcome this driving is going to give you, and it's going to help you not to think of giving up. When you have a bad day, when you have a challenging day, no problem. Never ever think of giving up. It's not an option. Okay. Number 8, homework. Now you might think, well, homework, I'm thinking of school now. Okay, this is also in school for you. You just gone back to school again to learn something new. Okay, you have to do homework, and everything you learn, for you to save time, for you to save energy, for you to save money, you need to do homework. The more homework you do, the less time you will need for you to learn and pass. Why? Because the information you will need from your driving instructor, you are already achieving by doing the homework. So for example, maybe you are reading a book about learning to drive, or you are following a course, or you are watching YouTube videos how to learn and pass the test. And what you are doing by doing that is you are doing homework. Okay, you have a notebook, make notes of the thing you learn. So let me give you an example. Okay, you are learning roundabout, or you will be learning roundabout. Okay, you open the book, or you look at a video on YouTube about roundabouts. Okay, you make the notes of the roundabouts, how the roundabout is done, how to approach a roundabout, what lane you need, when to signal, when to look on my right, where do I look. And you are making notes, you are writing those bullet points down, and you are thinking about them, you are memorizing them. When you go to your lesson, what do you think? Do you think it's going to help you? Do you think the instructor will have to explain to you as much? It doesn't, does he? They don't need to as much, right? Because you are already doing your homework. So the more homework you do, more easier it's going to be for you to learn. It's going to save you time, money, and energy. Okay, so make sure you do homework. You have your notebook, make notes on that notebook, and go back, and also go back and see what you've done on your last lesson. If it was a bad lesson, maybe it was a challenging lesson for you, read the notes, make more notes, and on your next lesson you should achieve it. So homework is important for you to make this easy for you and for you to learn easily and pass the test. Okay, so homework is essential, it's important. Number 9 is to know what you are going to achieve on the day. Now this is important because so when you come into a lesson, okay, you sit, you take a moment, and then make sure you know what you are going to achieve by the end of today or by the end of the lesson. And this is important because then you set a goal. You are prepared in the mind and in the heart, knowing that this is what I need to achieve, and you will be working on that throughout the lesson. Your main work is on that mainly. So when you go into the lesson and your instructor set the lesson, he or she says that this is what we are trying to achieve today by the end of the lesson, make sure you know and you set that goal. Your goal for the day is that I am learning this and I want to achieve this at the end. If there is something you want to learn, so maybe you had a bad lesson the lesson before, or maybe there's something you think you're weak on and you want to improve that, so maybe roundabouts, maybe a parking. When you go to the lesson, ask your instructor and say, can I please improve this today? So you set your goal. You've already set the goal. You told the instructor, give you the basic about what you need to achieve, how you're going to do it, and then you start the lesson. So you've set the goal for the day, and that's what you're going to be working on the whole lesson. So make sure you know what you are going to be learning today in this lesson. Setting the goal for the day is one of the most important, because you know what you are going to achieve, what you are trying to achieve at the end. Okay, in the mind, in the heart, you need to have that. Okay, and last but not least is to believe in yourself. I can't say enough of this. I mean, this is the most important. It doesn't matter what I've just said, all the other 9 I said. If you don't believe in yourself, forget it. Just go home. It's no point. You're going to waste your time and money, and you're going to take too long to learn for you to learn at the end. Okay, you need to believe that you can do it. If you just come in, many learners, they just come in and think, I'm never going to do this, or it's going to be too long, or I am slow, or I am rubbish. It's not going to help. You need to believe. Doesn't matter how long it takes. It will take as much as it takes. It will take, okay? That's no problem. The type of learner you are, the journey is going to be long, it's going to be short. It will take however long it takes for you, but you need to believe you can. Unless you do that, it's not going to happen. It's no point. Okay, if you don't believe in yourself, why are you learning? That's my question to you. Why are you learning if you think you can't do it? It's no point, right? If you think you can, only then you should start driving or learning to drive. Otherwise, it's no point. You're just going to keep on around the circle, and eventually you probably will learn, but it's going to take you years to learn. Okay? But the last thing I said, but not the least, okay, is the believe. The other 9 doesn't matter unless you believe in yourself that you can do this. If you believe you can, you can. If you believe you can't, then you're right. You won't be able to do it. Okay? So believe you can, you can. Anyway, I hope this helps. I've been teaching for the last 20 years, and that's the best 10 tips I can give you to help you to learn and pass the test easily. Hopefully the process will help you. Okay, that's it for today, and I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you did, please do give a thumbs up, and please do make a comment what you think of the video. And if you are new to this channel, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of my future videos, and hope to see you again on the next video. Bye for now.